Today's class is going to be focused on a fire flow. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to bring ourselves just into a child's pose or a seated meditation, somewhere where we can find stillness and comfort. And once you arrive, begin to find your breath, just noticing where the breath is. Not really feeling pressured or rushed to change its pattern, but just noticing the depth, noticing the length. Noticing how much you can hold in and how much you can release. And then soften your jaw, so try not to bite down at the back of your teeth. Try not to wrinkle up the forehead. And just smoothing over all of those really hard edges. Smoothing over the body. Sending breath into all the spaces that feel really tight today. Untuck the toes, just allow the knuckles of the fingers to just lightly rest upon the mat. And I was talking to a friend earlier, and we were both just talking about how we haven't really felt inspired lately. We haven't really felt as motivated as we usually do, especially to teach, to practice, to feel wholesome. And then I realized that this balance is a part of the process, it's a part of the practice, and it's a part of surrendering. And just surrendering to those emotions, even when they feel foreign to us. Surrendering to these feelings, even though we may wish we are feeling something better, something happier, something more creative. Surrendering to the idea that this is part of our journey. So if you're feeling uninspired lately, you're just kind of stuck in a funk, in a daze, allow yourself to sit with those thoughts, those emotions. Allow yourself to feel comfortable within that foggy, those clouds, within that heaviness. It kind of goes with the weather today. It's really cloudy out. It's super windy. And it made me think that I could sit here and try to beat myself up against feeling this way, or I could really just go with the current, go with the gust of wind wherever it blows me. Instead of walking within that current, within that wind, I'm going to choose to go with it and see where it leads me. So let's allow that to be our inspiration for tonight's class. Not really having expectations of where we should be going, where we want to be, or where we want to end up, but just allowing ourselves to trust within the flow and to move naturally, organically, full-heartedly, and wholesomely. Let's allow ourselves to go with the wind. And start to fire up the breath, coming into that ujjayi. We've been in meditation for about 5 minutes, so allow yourself to bring some natural, simple, mindful movements into the body. The arm bones nice and long. If you're in child's pose out in front of you, if you're in a seat, reaching them up above the head, rooting down through the sits bones and rooting down through the knees if you're in child's. And finding any other movements that is necessary, any other movements that just kind of meet the body where it's at. And then we'll make our way into a tabletop position. From our tabletop position, you can make any movements that just feel really appropriate for the shoulders and the hips, the toes, maybe even just the neck. So coming into some cat-cows, you can draw circles by doing cow-cat side to side. You can do them traditionally. You can bend the elbows, get creative. Really come into the space of your body and give it what it deserves. Not what you want, but just really moving without a thought process, letting everything flow. And then returning to a neutral spine, stacking the shoulders over the wrist, tucking the toes under. We're gonna hover the knees and the shins off of the mat. We're gonna build some heat right away. So pressing into the palms, pressing into the balls of the feet and the toes, begin to hover the shins off of the mat. So we're in this elevated, strong tabletop. And maybe immediately you already feel the heat rising. Maybe you feel some sensations within the thigh, but keep pressing the ground away so we're in this strong foundation. Take a big breath in, big breath out. We're here for 2 more rounds. Last one, make sure you fill all the way up. And all the way out. Lower the knees down to the mat. Round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, press the earth away, and then inhale, drop the belly, lift the tail, float the gaze forward. Returning back to that neutral spine, we're going to come into a spinal balance. So sweep the right arm and the left leg, reach it up, up, up. And just reaching those right fingertips forward, but draw the shoulder down and bring it down the back. Press the back foot into the wall, spreading wide through the toes. Take another breath in. And then on the exhale, let's see if you can push into the limbs that are grounded and hover the knee and the shin off the mat. Just see what happens. Teeter back and forth. Let's take another inhale. Tabletop, exhale. Inhale, cow pose, big breath in, breathe it out around the spine. Other side, left arm floats, right leg presses back. Try to even out the body weight. So you should feel a stretch within the right hamstring and in the calf, pressing the foot away, spinning the toes down, reaching those left fingertips, thumb points up. You can spread wide through the fingers or you can close them together. We're gonna ground down, take a breath in. On the exhale, see if you can just press up, lifting the shin, lifting the knee. If you're off balance, do what you can to stay balanced. Lower down. Inhale for cow. Relief, exhale for cat. And then we'll make our way into our downward facing dog. So just float the hips up, press the chest back. Maybe separate the space a little bit wider in between the wrists and the toes. And then coming into any natural movement. So I always like to come high onto my toes. I like to let the weight fall to the right and then to the left. Stretch out the side body. Welcome to your practice. The other day someone said to me, "Don't you do yoga to escape?" And I said, absolutely not. I don't do yoga because I enjoy it. I do yoga because it makes me face everything that is buried beneath the surface. Of course, I enjoy yoga because I enjoy the fulfillment that I get of living my truth and living to my highest frequency and highest potential as an individual. but I'm certainly not doing yoga because it's fun, and I'm not doing it to escape reality. So instead of shutting everything out that is coming to you within your practice, allow yourself to not break down, but to break open. So any little crack helps. Any little crack allows that darkness to see the light. And that's why we practice yoga, to face everything that's surfacing and to live our truth and to live at our highest frequency. So we're not here to escape. Staying right here in our downward facing dog. We're gonna push the right leg up high, like you're digging the heel into the ceiling. Take a really big breath in, come high onto the left toes. As you shift forward naturally, see if you can use the strength to press back. Lifting up a little bit higher, then hug the right knee to the chin. Really round the spine, step the foot in between the hands. Drop down to your left knee, settling into the hips if it's comfortable. And if you'd like, you can even lift your left heel off the mat and point the toes to the ceiling. Maybe you lift out of the hips, maybe you stay sunken in. You're definitely gonna feel some resistance. Lots of sensation happening in that left leg. Keep squeezing if you're here. And then slowly release the leg down. We're gonna send the hips back, fold over the right leg as we curl the toes toward the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, try to bring chin to shin. Gaze is at the toes. Stretching out that right leg, draw a big breath in. Surrendering into the tension, try to soften the kneecap. Take another inhale. Big breath out as we close space, belly to thigh, chin to shin. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Bring your thumbs or your fingers to your hips and then lift the shoulders over the hips. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, trying to stay balanced, flexing the toes. And then exhale, palms to heart. We're gonna twist to the right. Fingers can stay toward the rib cage, or you can do an open arm twist. Try to keep your hips nice and square. So right fingertips reach behind you, left fingertips reach out in front. Maintaining this strong posture, head on shoulders, shoulders on hips. Take one more inhale. Right fingertips dip down toward the left leg. Inhale the left arm high. And then exhale, fold over the leg once again, still stretching out that hamstring. Inhale, shift into a low lunge, dig the left toes into the mat, and then shoot right into thunderbolt, coming off of that back knee. And then here you have some opportunities to do what you need to with your arms. Maybe you spread wide through the fingers. Maybe you close them tightly to each other. Maybe you interlace the fingers and bring the pointers and thumbs to touch. Just creating some resistance, some friction within the floor, within the mat, within the earth. Push down. Big breath out. Let's take one more inhale. And then on the exhale, we're just gonna shift our weight forward enough until we can hover our left leg off the mat. So use the glutes here and the strength of the leg to squeeze that left leg up, keeping a bend in the right leg. And then however you can get there, hug the left knee to the right knee, and we're gonna sit right into chair pose. That right knee is gonna stay bent. Maybe you have your fingers inside your hips, just kind of sending weight down into the heels, and then reach the arms up overhead. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's really tap into the breath. So full inhale. Soften shoulders. Exhale. One more breath. Now the legs stay, but the fingers interlace to the tail. We're going to fold over the thighs, keeping the legs bent, drawing nose to toes, lifting the fingers away from the tail. You can also airplane the arms here. Start to push your weight down into your right foot. Lower the hands back to the tail. Push into the foot and come all the way up to standing as left knee hugs to belly. Once you release the fingers, take the arms up. Fill it up. Let's take one more breath in. And on the exhale, push the left knee out to the side. And then start to open the hips, slowly rotate. Bend the right knee, step into warrior two. I always have to make my adjustments when I arrive. Maybe you do too. Strong focus on the feet. Think about squeezing the back foot to the front foot. Right knee shifts over the ankle. Try not to let it go way out or way in. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale. Get lower into the hips. See if you can bring your entire right palm. Press it into the mat. Use the arm into the leg, leg into the arm, and then open the chest. Reaching up toward the ceiling. Breathe in as you press down. And then reach the arm overhead. Kind of draw the shoulder down in front of your jaw. Exhale the hand entirely to the mat. Both hands crawl toward the top left corner of your mat. And you're going to push into the feet and fold. We're still in warrior two, legs building heat, building sensation. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften the thoughts, the mind. Stay focused on the breath. Try not to hyperextend the back knee. And then slowly crawl all the way to the left leg, finding Skandasana. And this can be any variation. So maybe you come on to the right heel, flex the toes toward the shin. If the hips are bothering you, pop up about halfway. Nestle into the entire right foot. Bring hands to heart. You can sweep the fingers toward the back of the room. So you can get creative here. Maybe you sweep the fingers to the front of the room like you're holding a beach ball. But wherever you are, breathe and focus. Keep the integrity of the pose wherever you are. And then slowly bend through the front leg. Stay low and kind of like an animalistic movement. Get real low and crawl. Plant the palms. Press into the palms and step back with the core. High plank on the in-breath. We're going to hold this. Inhale. Strong shoulders and arms. Drop the hips to the right. Inhale, center. Over to the left. Inhale. Right. Inhale. Left. Again. Last one. Strong shoulders, inhale. Chaturanga, halfway or all the way. Know your options. Know your variations. Know your limits and your boundaries. Press back, dog pose, soften the knees. Shoot that left leg up, heel digs into the ceiling. Come high onto the right toes as you naturally shift forward. Lift the hips up, draw the chest toward the thighs. Stay high onto those back toes, press into the fingers. Flex the left foot, hug the knee to the belly, then to the chest, then to the chin. Step it through. Drop that back knee. Let's hang out in our hips. If you'd like to attempt that little hamstring curl, squeeze the right heel toward the glute. Flex the toes or point them. I'm pointing mine. Maybe you want to flex yours. But maybe point them. See how that feels. You can lift out. If you feel a little cramping, that's okay. We're not here for a long time. Take another breath in. Release the curl. Drop the top of the foot down. Fold over the left leg. Take a breath in. Lengthen halfway. And then on the exhale, grip the mat. And then pull the chin toward the shin, crown of the head toward the toes. Square the hips, draw the left femur into the hip, pull the right hip forward. Take a big breath in, create space. Close the space off, breath out, belly melts to thigh. Inhale halfway. Clasp the hips with the fingers, guide the shoulders up over the hips, find the balance, maybe tuck the right toes under. Inhale, the arms high. Exhale, twist to the left. Try to pull the right shoulder toward the left toes. Try to pull the left shoulder to the right toes. Stay grounded, breathe in. Lower the left, reach the right, stay balanced. What do you need to do here? Take an inhale, and exhale, gracefully fold with control. Inhale into that low lunge. We're gonna stick our right toes to the mat. We're gonna use the strength of our body. We're gonna shoot up into that full thunderbolt. Any variation you would like to do with your arms. Sometimes I love to airplane here. Really roll the shoulders to my earlobes, roll them down the back, offer up my heart. Sometimes I feel best bringing my hands to prayer. Wherever you go, as always, I encourage you to be true to yourself, to be explorative and creative, most importantly, safe. Shifting forward slightly, keeping the bend in that left knee. Enough until we can hug with the hamstring, hug the muscles, lift up, flex the right toes, bend the knee, and then find chair. Sitting down nice and low, trusting the body. Readjust, tuck the tail, lift the arms. Soften the shoulders, but keep the muscles engaged. Take a breath in. Use it, breath out. Take another breath in. Exhale, interlace the fingers. Roll the shoulder blades together. Bring the belly, melt it to the thighs. Keep the bend in the knees, chin to knees, toes to, or nose to toes. We're gonna ground this time into our left foot. Lower the hands, and then as we lower, sweep the arms and the knee up. Flexing the right toes. How do we feel? What adjustments do we need to make? Where's our drishti? Where's our focus, our gaze? Where's our attention? Slowly open up the hip. Roll into that warrior two. Make your adjustments as you arrive. Breathe in. Settle. Lifting up through the spine. Settling in. Expanding the ribs. Settling in and then tipping over, lowering the entire left hand to either your mat or your block. Now try not to bend the left arm. Push down into the mat. Push down really hard as if we were in a side plank. Reach the right fingertips up toward the sky, grounding down through the knife edge of the back foot. And then reach the right arm overhead and then kind of drop the shoulder down toward your jawline. One more. Lower the hand entirely down, the legs will stay. You're gonna walk your hands out to the right, press down into the feet, push into the hands and drop the head. Maybe you could see your back foot. Strong left leg, feeling a stretch within the groin. Now walk the hands toward the right. Maybe you come into an entirely different Skandasana. Maybe you swoosh your hands to the back of the room, taking your gaze toward your thumbs. Strong legs, or maybe you're sitting really low with the support of your upper body here. Sometimes we need the stretch more than the balance, and sometimes we need to be balanced more than the stretch. Wherever you are, with or without hands, we're just gonna safely get real low and crawl. Take your time until you can plant the palms. Step the left foot back. Take a big breath in. We're gonna do a low push-up. Come up for high push-up. Pause and plank. Float the right arm up and lift the left leg. Stay square, high plank. Float the left arm, flex the right leg, high plank. Let's do that 2 more times. Left side. Try to feel balance before coming back to plank. 1 more round. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga or down dog. Soften the knees, grip the mat with the toes, lift the butt bone up high. Inhale. And then drop the knees, come to a tabletop. Maybe just shake the neck out. Roll through some circles. So we're gonna do just a little core work. We're gonna start from tabletop. From here, we're gonna do a sit through. If you're familiar with my classes, you've done this before. We're gonna turn our body to the right. So listen up, or maybe take a moment to watch as I demonstrate. Our right knee is gonna come toward our right hip, and we're gonna extend our left leg toward the back of the right. So I'm gonna turn open like a crab walk, and I'm gonna shoot my left leg out and turn back to tabletop. I'm gonna pivot to the left, keep the bend in my left leg, extend the right leg out as I hover. Option to drop. Pressing down into my right hand, I'm gonna crawl back to table and switch. So we'll go slow. Table, pivot to the left, extend the right leg. I like to keep my hands to my heart. It's just a natural mechanism that I do. Maybe your hands are way out. Staying in table as we transition, keeping the core engaged and active, making this more slow and conscious versus fast and out of control. The world is out of control enough. So if we can just do our part, be mindful within our own body, our actions, our words, stay intentional, loving, compassionate, non-judging of others. So turn to the right, extend the left leg out, drop the heel. Wild thing, right arm reaches, who cares if you're off your mat? Drop the head, 1 more. Lower the butt all the way down. So now we're just sitting down in that position. We're either gonna take an open arm twist, take your gaze to the left thumb, or find a shoulder bind. Maybe you interlace the fingers, maybe the hands just dig into parts of your body. Take a breath in. Release the bind, lower the left hand, inhale the right, wild thing last time. And then slowly adjust tabletop. Lower the knees and the hands, breathe. Okay, we're gonna do a few more rounds of that, and then we're gonna do the other side. So we'll do about 5 rounds. Tabletop. We're gonna pivot to the left, keep the bend in the left knee, extend the right, turn, other side. So maybe you got the hang of it. Maybe you dare to go a little faster. Maybe you're totally content staying at the same pace. Either way, it's freaking great. Adding just a little bounce to protect the body. After our last right, we're gonna go to the left. Wild thing, right heel drops. Inhale, the hips reach to the mat. Catch your breath, slow it down. And exhale, bend as we sit. Digging left arm into left leg. Maybe you open up. Maybe you clasp. Pull the chest up. Take the gaze to the top. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Slowly release back into wild thing. Inhale, shoot it up. Lower the hips enough. Crawl back into tabletop. Sit into child's pose. Maybe just kind of connect to the heartbeat. The way that the breath sounds hollow as it goes in and out of the throat. Maybe just feel the heart pound, the temples pulse. I always like listening to that sound. Sometimes even just close my ears. Feel what everything sounds like from the inside. And then we're going to come to standing at the top of our mat. And then maybe you want to melt into a forward fold. Maybe you just like the powerful sensation that mountain pose gives you, so you stand up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders down the back, press into the feet, either way, wherever you're at. And then we'll meet in mountain or Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale into prayer. Send your weight into your right foot. And we're just going to kickstand the left leg back. Warrior 3. Keep a little bend in your right leg. Maybe a big bend. And then perhaps over time you could just kind of straighten that leg without locking it. Hands are up to you, wherever they need to be. We're going to take one more inhale. If your hands are up, prayer, try to reach them out in front of you. Reach. And then lower the hands, and we're going to cross the left leg behind the right so the pinkies meet, and we're going to fold in this X. And then hike the right knee on top of the left a little more. We're going to find eagle leg. So you're going to really come into eagle in any variation. Tonight I think I'm just going to let my toes dangle. And then I'm going to take my left arm over my right. Breathe in. Tighten everything, breathe out. If you're hunching way over and your elbows are super close to your knees, can you sit your weight back into your heel and kind of bring your shoulders over your hips? Breathe in. Find that gaze, breathe out. We're going to take one more inhale. And then as we unravel, we're going to slowly breathe out and we're going to float our way into half moon. And you can play around here. Get creative, maybe wave the leg around, maybe wave the arm around. So in fire flows, we focus on containing our fire and just being able to stay with that flame to ignite the fire within us, but we don't want it to spread all over the place. We don't want it to affect others. We don't want it to burn anything down. So just be able to control your flame. I'm gonna get creative, play around, take a breath in. Lower the hand down, breath out. So watch my right leg. My right leg is gonna sweep all the way over to the left. So I'm gonna reach up. I'm in this lizard pose, right? Where it's kind of like a modified side plank. So just like you, my chest is facing the top of the mat. My right leg is reaching over to the left wall. Take a breath in. Ground down through that right hand. So pushing down. Now check it out. My left foot is going to stay right here. I'm going to make any adjustments so I can step right into temple pose. And then I can make my corrections in my feet. So now I'm facing the right wall. I'm dropping low into my temple, knees out, heels in, toes out, shoulders right over hips. Take a breath in. Breath out. Inhale, create space, lengthen, maybe lift up. Exhale, close up the space, sit low. Hands to the inner thighs. Keep the intention within the squat. We're gonna lower the chest down halfway, dip the right shoulder, take your gaze over the left, a little twist in the torso, and then switch. And then we're gonna come to center. We're gonna do that again. Right shoulder down, gaze to the left. And then we're gonna drop our right knee. Come into a low crescent lunge on the left leg. Exhale back into temple. Hands to the thighs, dip the left shoulder, gaze to the right. Now pivot the left knee down, face the back of the mat. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale back into temple so that front knee stays bent. We're gonna do it again. Dive down into that low lunge. Inhale to the front. Come back into temple. Take that shoulder down, take the knee down. Inhale. One more round on your own. Landing in temple. Warrior 2 to the left side. Take a breath in. Breath out. Last one. Circle the arms down. You have an option for handstand. I'm not going to kick up because I have a fan above me. But you're going to place the hands down. You're either going to come into a handstand or a standing split. And then slowly find chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Press it back. Find some space to breathe. And then we'll go ahead and set up for the other side. Make your way to the top of the mat. Jump, step, tiptoe, float, whatever. Inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe look up, lift, reach back. Hands to heart. Send your weight this time into the left leg. And we're just gonna flex the right foot up, engage the thigh muscles, lift the buttocks, squeeze, take a bend, find warrior 3. I encourage you to do something you don't typically do here. For instance, I always gravitate toward airplane arms, but this time I'm going to reach the arms forward instead. This is a little more challenging for me. See if you can straighten that left leg. Take a really big breath in. And then exhale. Make that standing X. Right foot goes behind left, and we're going to fold, meeting the palms to the mat if you can. And then find eagle. So really nestle that left thigh on top, that left knee on top of the right thigh. Slowly make your way up. Maybe you come into full eagle. Maybe you just keep your hands to prayer. Find the gaze, find the focus, find the balance. Notice how your body is responding and reacting to this pose. What's reacting more, the body or the mind? Can you calm them both down? Can you bring a wave of peace into wherever you are? Exhale, unravel slowly into that like flying half moon. Maybe the fingers never meet the mat. Maybe they meet your block. Take a breath in, do something different here. Maybe bind the hands toward the tail, keeping the integrity of the half moon. Try not to curl the right toes under. I know the legs are cramping. If you fall out, come back in, come right back in. Now lower the left hand down, kind of next to the right foot. And your right or your left foot is going to shoot all the way over to the right. Take the right arm up where chest is facing the top of our mat. Grounding down into the palm, reaching the arm all the way up. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Let's take one more in-breath. Right foot stays, but left hand lowers next to the right foot. Make that adjustment. Pop right into temple pose, you guys. We're facing the left wall. So our bodies aren't designed to just land miraculously into all these poses. We kind of have to think about where we're going. We need to protect our body in order to get into these certain shapes and these spaces. We can certainly do all of this if we're mindful of where we're going. So we're all landing here. It doesn't matter how we got here. So temple pose, we're just gonna breathe here. So inhale, reach the arms up. Hands come to the back of the neck. Sitting a little bit lower, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale the arms up, keep the knees out. Bend the arms, tap the back of the neck with the thumbs. Keep the knees from caving in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Last round, breathe in. Bend the elbows, tap the back of the neck, breathe out. Inhale. Exhale, cactus. Warrior two to the right. Okay, so I know we want to straighten that right leg. Try not to straighten it. Settle in. We're building strength. Building power. Just like I said in the beginning, I don't do this because I enjoy it, but I know it creates a better outcome for me. One more. Take the arms down, find standing split, and then maybe you press up into your handstand. And then from here, we're actually just gonna find a chair pose. So inhale, reach the arms up. Bring the fingers to the knees. Inhale, cow. Exhale, rounding cat. Two more. Staying in chair, one more. Exhale, forward fold. Take a wider stance. Hook the peace fingers around the big toes. Press into the feet. Bend the knees. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Bow the elbows out. Pull the toes toward you, but keep pressing the feet down into the mat, down into the fingers. Even with the knees bent, lift up through the butt bones. Let the belly fill up and press up against the thighs. Release the fingers and just kind of melt the hips side to side. And then from here, we're just gonna make our way onto our bellies. And taking your time, being mindful of the way that you just kind of come on down. And when you're ready, we're all gonna meet in Sphinx pose. And just spreading wide through the fingers, gripping the mat and pushing the ground away, lifting up through the heart, lifting the gaze, the chin, the chest, pressing down into the forearms, into the tops of the feet. Take a breath in. Breath out. And if this is too much for the low back, you can always just take the arms a little bit out in front of you, easing that tension that you may be experiencing in the lower parts of the back. Maybe you draw chin to chest. And then from here, we're going to bring our right knee all the way out for half frog. Crawl the right fingertips away from the mat. And we're just going to thread the needles. So make your adjustments, any modifications. Maybe you want to straighten that right leg entirely. And then lowering the head down to the earth. Softening the shoulders. Breathing in. And slowly extend the right leg back. Shifting into Sphinx. Inhale. Prepping for the other side. Drawing the left knee out. Make sure the butt's not sticking up so the knee is far away from the hip. Left arm extends, right arm threads. Lowering the side of the head to the mat. And slowly exhale as we press the left leg back, unravel the arms, and then inhale, lift into an up dog. Keep the knees grounded, and then soften as the hips shift back. We're just gonna walk our knees toward our wrists, and we're gonna find just a gentle Buddha squat with or without a block. And we're gonna add a little twist into this. So right arm digs deep into the right leg, press the palm down, and then take the left arm up. And just easing your way into the hips as well as the twist. Option to find a bind, full or half. And then switch. Left arm digs, extends so the palm presses. Inhale the right arm, just twisting those left ribs toward the left thigh. Right ribs reach up. Bind, if you will, half or full. And then gently guide yourself back to center. Extend the arms out in front. Release the bottom to the mat. And then start to roll onto the spine as you hug the knees into the belly. You'll come on to the back. And you're going to make your way right into plow pose. Maybe you do a few rocks front to back in order to make your way there. And then just allow the knees to soften so the knees can go to the forehead. You can find deaf man's pose, knees to the temples. Or maybe the legs just extend fully behind you, toes to the back of the mat. And just allowing the body to surrender, to feel safe, even if the mind feels vulnerable. Allowing yourself to be in a complete state of ease, stillness, mindfulness. And just starting to notice the physical shape that your body is in. How is the mind reacting? How is the body? And can you surrender deeper into the fold? Can you allow yourself to be right where you are without expectations of the practice or without expectations of your breath or the way that you should feel, the way that you want to feel? And slowly pulling away from those attachments that we just create over time, those boundaries that we build higher and higher and higher. Can we venture back to the stillness of the mind, the love and compassion in the heart? Can we always make our way back to our truth? We're going to slowly roll on to our spine and flattening out into Shavasana, our final pose. And of course, if there's anything else that your body absolutely needs, please always honor that, to give yourself whatever it is to just continue to nourish the body. And then allowing just the weight of your physical being to meld into the earth. The earth that forever supports us, grounds us, nourishes us with its nutrients. Take a big breath in. And on the breath out, just feel the weight of your physical body becoming heavier and heavier and heavier, so that there's nothing left to exist but the soul. And can you just feel the soul radiating? Can you feel it becoming lighter and lighter? Allow it to become free. Bringing the awareness to the space in between your eyebrows, the third eye, as you lightly close the eyelids down. Noticing what you see here, noticing what surfaces. Perhaps a color, a shape, maybe just white noise, maybe just black. Sometimes I have a difficult time when I meditate because I create these certain expectations of these certain feelings, sensations, and visuals that I should have. When in reality, when doing that, I'm pulling myself away from the experience that's happening right in front of me. So if you're in the same boat as I am, you're not alone. Keep coming back to that third eye, that focal point. Keep returning to breath and tuning into the experience that is given to you right here, right now. Keep coming back to love. Keep coming back to kindness, compassion, and gratitude. As we surrender to the moment, I thank you. With all my love, namaste.